You know what I actually love seeing in the welterweight division right now? Activity. Guys finally stepping up and fighting each other again. Because let's be honest, for the longest time, this division has been kind of like stuck. A lot of dudes at 170 didn't want to risk it, didn't want to fight each other. And it was pretty much like, nah, bro, I'll wait for the bigger name or the safer stylistic matchup. Like, it's like, come on, man. This isn't politics, it's fighting. You can't just sit out forever and expect people to remember your name. The welterweights have always had that weird problem, man. There's so much talent, but half the roster treats matchmaking like a chess game instead of a fist fight. And look at this, man. We've been hearing for months that Ian Garry versus Sean Brady was going to happen. Sean's been calling him out nonstop. He's practically been begging for that fight. And Ian, silent, like straight up ghosted that man. Then out of nowhere, boom, he signs the fight to fight Belal Muhammad, the former champ, in a 3-round co-main event. Everybody was shocked. But honestly, I get it. I see what Ian's doing. He's playing the smart game here. Like, stylistically, Sean Brady is not the type of dude you just casually sign up to fight. Let's just say how it is. That man is terrifying if you're trying to protect, your record and stuff. He's got that relentless grappling, that heavy top control, that ridiculous squeeze. The guy literally turned Leon Edwards into a pretzel in his last fight and then dominated Gilbert Burns like it was nothing. So yeah, I can see why Ian decided, like, you know what? Maybe not Brady right now. That guy's jiu-jitsu is really good. He's pretty big. He's girthy. Instead, he picked Belal, a former champion, coming off a loss, and most importantly, a 3-round fight instead of a 5. That's less time for Belal to pressure to pile up, less time to get drowned by cardio. It's the safest bet on paper. And if Ian wins, it fast tracks him to a title shot. He beat a former champion. But let's not act like this is an easy night for either guy. I'm seeing a lot of people online saying, oh yeah, Belal's just going to wrestle him for 3 rounds and win another decision. I don't think it's that simple. Belal's smart, consistent, and tough, sure, but Ian's range, his control, his jab, his ability to manage distance, that's going to make this fight really interesting when you really think about it. If it goes to decision, fine. Because let's just be honest, it most likely is anyways. These guys aren't really finishers. Belal might edge it if it was a 5-round fight, but I generally think it's going to be competitive as hell. You know what people seem to forget about Ian Garry? That the man is 6'3". Let me say that again. The man is 6'3". Let me say it one more time. No, I'm just playing. That's a big welterweight, bro. We're talking about a guy who could probably look Belal Muhammad dead in the eye and say, are you sure you're in the right division? Not only does Ian have the height, he's got the reach too. And that's not just some random stat. That's weapons. We're talking long jabs, stiff teeps, and slick slide movements. That's going to frustrate Belal all night, Belal likes to close the distance, get chest to chest, and wear guys down. But against someone like Ian, every time that he tries, he's going to be eating that jab and leg kick for breakfast. And that's where it gets interesting, man. Because if we're going to be real, we've seen this movie before. Something similar, at least. Remember Belal versus Jack de la Madalena? Literally Belal's last fight. That's the one. Belal just couldn't get into his rhythm going. He couldn't find those clean entries, and Jack was picking him apart. People love to say, oh, Belal didn't wrestle enough. But, bro, he tried. Go look at the stats. He shot just as much as he always usually does in all his other fights. And that's exactly what Garry can recreate here. If he keeps it standing and it's only a 3-round, not 5, that same story could repeat itself. Garry's got the tools to frustrate Belal, make him shoot from bad spots, and punish him for overcommitting. Now, here's the part that people don't realize. Garry's defense has leveled up too. He's not just some lanky striker anymore. He's starting to use those knees, those elbows, and those sneaky little shoulder rolls to intercept pressure. And let's be honest, bro, age matters. Belal is 36 now? He's still a tank. He's still got that cardio. But you can see those entries, getting kind of slow. Meanwhile, Garry's faster, more explosive, more reactive to level changes. He's got that youth speed, that kind of where your knees still work and you don't groan every time you're getting off the couch. Belal's not washed. He's far from it. Don't get me wrong, but he's definitely hitting that point where speed kills. And Garry's got that PhD in that department, in my opinion. Now, Belal's best path to victory is obvious. He's going to take it to the ground. He's going to make it ugly. He's going to make it grindy. But even then, I think people are sleeping on Garry's ground game. The dude's been training with legit Brazilians. He's got that sneaky jiu-jitsu. He knows how to create space and isn't afraid to throw submissions off his back. I'm not saying he's going to try and go choke Belal out of nowhere, but I do think Belal is going to respect the ground threat more than people think. Garry is tricky, man. This is the same guy who took Shafkat's back and almost submitted him. Same thing with MVP. You can't do that unless you've got real grappling instincts. So when you wrap it all up, yeah, I can absolutely see Garry picking Belal apart from the outside. He doesn't even need a knockout, bro. He just needs to bank rounds. land the cleaner shots, and frustrate the hell out of him. If this was a 5-rounder, I'd say Belal's grind could start taking over. I can see it happening, but it's hard to see it in a 3-round fight. And look, man, if Belal's gonna win this thing, he's gotta come out like a madman, in my opinion. I'm talking first round, no hesitation. I just got my cup of coffee and I'm running late for work type of pace, okay? Go rewatch the second Leon Edwards versus Belal fight. Basically, Belal sprinted across the cage and grabbed Leon like a bouncer grabbing a drunk friend and dumped him on his head. That's the version he needs to bring, because let's be real, this is only 15 minutes. There's no time to download data. There's no time to fill things out. He's got to make it ugly from the jump. Grab Ian, grab the little fucker and dump him in his head and make it a dogfight before Garry can get going, you know what I'm saying? And if Belal does that, I actually believe that's where Belal's experience can give him the edge too. Yeah, he's 36, but the dude has fought in almost everybody that's a top level in the welterweight division. Yes, there's new fighters coming up, but I'm talking about the Leon Edwards, the Gilbert Burns, the Sean Brady, the Damian Maia, Vicente Luque. That's basically the final boss list for the welterweight division. Obviously, like I mentioned, there's new fighters coming up, but he's seen every style: slick kickboxer, heavy grappler, counter striker. He's got the mileage to know what works when pretty technique doesn't. People act like losing to JDM broke him, but nah, Belal's too mentally tough for that. He's goofy, yeah, but he's built like a fighter who refuses to stay down. And if you're Belal, your plan is simple: get inside Garry's reach and never leave. Close the gap like your life depends on it. Grab him, slam him, make him regret stretching before the fight. The less time he has to set up those long kicks, those jabs, and Belal's top control, it's elite. Once he gets a hold of you, I mean, he's not going to submit you or finish you, but he's going to hold on to you. You can peel him off, but it takes everything out of you. Just look how he smothered Wonderboy, a longer, flashy striker than Garry. Belal didn't let him breathe. He chained takedowns, pinned him on the fence, and made that fight look like a grappling clinic. That's exactly the kind of pace he needs. And say what you want about striking, Belal's gotten way better at mixing things up. Against Sean Brady, he was supposed to be outgunned on the feet. But what happened? He pressured, he switched levels, and broke Brady down until the ref had to step in. And he won a round against JDM. Yes, he got dominated in that fight, but he proved in that fight that he has Canelo hands. And if he can make Garry second guess himself, with kicks or step-ins and all this other stuff in the perfect distance, all that can disappear. And once Belal drags him to the mat, that's his world. Garry's good on the ground, but he's not used to being stuck under a grinder for long stretches. Like, keep in mind, this is the first real wrestler that he's facing. Another thing that people underestimate how good is Belal's conditioning, especially in short fights. Over 5 rounds, sure, the pace is impressive, but in a 3-rounder, the man can go full throttle the whole way. He's not going to be pacing himself. He's not going to be waiting to see what Garry throws. He can push nonstop and force the younger guy to fight off the back foot. And the cardio advantage goes to Belal. We saw Ian Garry gas out against when he fought Carlos Prates in the 5th round. Like, don't get me wrong, this fight is still a 3-rounder fight, but Garry might look clean in round 1. But if Belal keeps him working, that gas can start to go down. And we could probably see Garry like, bro, chill. And at the end of the day, Belal doesn't need a highlight reel finish. He just needs control. He needs to make every exchange messy, make every round close, and show the judges that he's the one dictating the fight. Garry can win the distance battle, but Belal wins the fight if he turns it into a grind, if he makes it messy, and he makes it into that phone booth brawl. I can see a world where Belal wins. Now, I'm not going to dance around it. I still think Ian Garry is going to get this one done. I watched enough tape to feel confident he's taking at least 2 rounds, maybe even 3. Call me crazy. But the more I look at it, the more I just see how many advantages Ian's going to have on the feet, the range, the kicks, the timings. It's all tailor-made for him against a guy like Belal. Like, don't get me wrong, Belal's a dog, no question about it. But the man just doesn't match Ian's frame. That last fight kind of exposed a few openings in my opinion. Those knees up the middles, the uppercuts, the sneak throughs. And Ian's got a way deeper striking toolbox in my opinion. He mixes in feints, low kicks, head kicks, all that. Clean stuff that keeps you guessing. Now, I will say this. Ian's not some knockout merchant. He doesn't have that one-shot power, and Belal is tough as hell. The man can keep eating strikes like it's a buffet and still pressure forward. But honestly, part of me wants Belal just to win so we can get that Kamaru Usman fight. But I can't lie, I don't really see it happening. And if he loses, you already know what the narrative is going to be. Bro, how was Belal ever champion? But look, if it happens, it's not the end of the world. Ian's just part of this new wave. The kid's evolving. Every fight, he's getting sharper. He's calmer, smarter. There's no shame in that. And that's just this new generation is bringing. A different level of speed, precision and all that. Belal's still that dude, though. he could beat plenty of killers. Sean Brady, maybe just Shavkat, maybe, who knows? He's going to be in the top 5 regardless. But this fight, man, this one feels like it's Ian Garry's moment. And to be clear, I can't stand Ian Garry, like, at all. But it just feels like one of those fights where he's going to win again. And I don't know, man. I've got to accept it. And to be fair, though, I do like what he brings to the game. He's cocky. He's ignorant. He talks wild, but it's entertaining. He gets people mad, gets people talking. And honestly, that's what the division's been missing. For years, welterweight's been kind of quiet. Too many nice guys, besides Kobe Covington. But whatever, too much waiting around. Garry shows up, runs his mouth, and suddenly 170 is interesting again. So yeah, he's annoying, but he's also kind of refreshing. So I'm looking forward to this fight. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always, guys, I'll see you on my next one.